Yo. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. How we doing? Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the market formerly known as Forex, as the chop continues. We will get right into that. But quickly, as always, just bang this out. All right. So real quick for a disclaimer, trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential in trading all financial markets. If you do not have an understanding of proper risk management, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. The content I provide is for general information purposes only and entertainment, and should not be interpreted as advice, investment, financial, or otherwise, as I am not a financial services provider. However, if you do choose to follow along with any of my trade positions, you do so at your own risk. Anyway, welcome back. How's everybody doing? How we feeling? This market, man. This market is just not giving me much to work with during these New York sessions, but today is another day. We will see what happens. What's up, pup? What are you doing? Doing? All right. Let's see what's going on here. Anybody getting in any positions today yet? Did you find anything on any other pairs? How's everybody doing? See, right back to this kind of level we had drawn. Just chopping, just above it, below it, above it, below it, above it, below it. This level kind of fell off. Came back. Couldn't make another high. Now it's fallen. EA. Just rose up from yesterday. I tried to get it short. Right here. It pushed, but didn't hold. Excuse me. Went about like 1 hour for me and pushed up. Made a higher low. Now it's making a higher high. So, not sure what to make of it. This kind of seems to be in its range. We'll see. Maybe this session, maybe we get some momentum in New York and we could try and make something. But right now it's too hard to call anything. EU looked like it, from beginning of the month, like it pushed up and then kind of last week it fell and then it tried to come back up, hitting this level right here. It's just finding a little bit of pullback. Couldn't break the highs again. Kind of hit this high right here from last week. Now it's kind of pushing down off of it. Really not sure what to make of it. Divergent on the lower time frames, a little bit divergent here on the 15-minute. Throwing some pins down to this area, but structurally it's coming lower, so really not sure. You would presume maybe this is creating like a level. Maybe something like that, kind of retesting these highs. Perhaps for support or resistance to move higher, but it looks like it's fallen pretty good, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. GJ just chopping a little bit. Now still looks like there's potential for it to come lower. But this market has just been so funny. Like I don't know if I've ever seen it like this. I remember seeing it like this where it's just like so up and down and no clear trend. Just not giving you really anything to work with. GU, if the dollar index is trying to move higher, then we're going to see these pairs move lower. EU, GU, AU potentially. Keep an eye on the dollar index, see if it continues to find momentum to the upside. Looks like breakout right here, kind of. Came up, kind of retraced and pushed higher. So you might see it try and get up back into this area. It'll drive other dollar pairs down, potentially. Yeah, just don't know. It's like one week it's in an uptrend and the next week it's in a downtrend. It's like it's too hard to try and find a trend. It's like you have to almost trade reversals, but it's like that's not always the best way to trade. You want to try and find a trend and just ride a trend, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. So we will see. Nice and early, plenty of time left in the day in this session. See if we find areas of support, resistance. See if we can get a New York breakout. There's no news today. Absolutely nothing. It's just quiet. I think there's like China bank holiday, something like that. But yeah, man, that's where we're at. Just kind of waiting for this market to come back to life and start trending. It's been a very difficult June. I did my numbers. I think I'm down like 5% for June, which is basically one winner because I risked 2% for 2 hours, so it's 4%. So I'm down like one winner. So it's been a really flat month. I'm surprised that I'm not down even more with just how inconsistent this New York session has been for me. There's definitely been moves in other time frames, and there's been a few, very few moves in New York that maybe I just didn't take, but it really hasn't been that great. I can't even explain it. Now maybe it's me, and maybe it's just a style that I trade, but I don't know. Just been having a hard time really putting anything together. But Like, look, this is the monthly candle on GJ. Was up, now it's down. On GU, was up, down, now it's like a little bit up. EU was all the way up, was down, now it's kind of coming back up. And then EA was down, came up, now it's starting to come back down a little bit. And AU starting to come up a little bit. So it's a little choppy, just kind of up and down like I was saying. See what happens as we hit in this area where we had a previous structure high, and then we broke through it, kind of used it as like a support and pushed up. Now we're coming back to it. Let's see if we can find any reason that it might hold here. You can see you're getting like a lot of pins here, and maybe some buyers are trying to step into the market. So we'll see if we can find any reason why it might continue higher, or we could find any reason why it might not. Right now, on this, if you're looking at the 1 minute, you can see that you have divergence here at the bottom. It's falling on price action, but right here you're holding this market sentiment. So it's lower here, but it's higher here, but it's actually lower on price action. And not only that, this leg and this leg are divergent. So it's like double divergence. See what happens. Obviously, this area right here is something of significance. So we'll see how price wants to play it. Kind of failing here on a 5 minute 2 to make a new low. Double pins right to the bottom. Just wick, divergence. Not really divergence because price didn't come here through pins to it, but yeah, it's a little divergent. But we'll see. I'm definitely going to wait. I'm not getting in early like I did yesterday because that just didn't play out for me. So I'm going to try and at least wait until the stock market or, closer. Just wait for more time to elapse into New York before I get jumping into anything. See if I can actually define a direction. See if we can't hit something. Same thing on AU. Coming down to a level. Divergence. Divergence on the top with a 5 minute on EA. Breaking down. Let's take a peek around the rest of the market for fun. See what's going on with that. Yeah, a lot of this stuff that moves, like, it's just not moving in New York for me. I don't know that I would have been able to find any entry on this pair yesterday. This is chopping, just up and down. CAD CHF kind of had a descending channel, broke the channel. See if it comes back, tests it, moves higher, or if it just continues in this downtrend. That looks like it's trying to break out on. CAD GPY. EuroCAD kind of falling off the top off that divergence. Had somebody tell me they were long EJ yesterday. I don't think that's working out too well at the moment. See how it plays out though. It's just chopping. Euro NZD, I saw that had a push. GA, if you're up in London. But it's been falling. So I don't know why you would take this up. Kind of just find support, I guess. Comes up, down, can't break the low. Just doesn't fit for me. What's going on, CD? Everything kind of choppy today. Not looking good. No, it doesn't. CJ, what's going on? More chop. Yeah, welcome back to Chopped. Can change the name of the stream. Just kind of looking around other pairs on the market, seeing if anything's going on. It's just, I don't know. UJ kind of breaking out here about an hour ago, breaking out of this consolidation. But again, like it's kind of been falling, so I don't know why you put a buy in unless you just are like, this is bottoming out and it's just right back to this level here. Gold moved up a little bit yesterday, almost to 1780, and then just falling off. Dollar index trying to move higher, which is going to bring down EU. It's coming back down to the lows right now of the day, kind of where this big, huge pin, it's like refilling that wick right now. Maybe it comes full reset to this 15-minute 800. Just comes down in here and settles. It's clearly falling. I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's definitely become very frustrating to trade. And I definitely could feel like I got induced a little bit yesterday. And if you remember, I did like it. I did feel like it had potential. It just didn't hold it. It just wicked. And it just completely like retraced. We were saying on the 4 hour, that looked like maybe it was having potential to kind of drive through, and it just didn't. It's just still, it never broke this range, and that's why I don't often like to try and take the first move, because not always the first move. You'd rather see it break out, come back and retest, and then throw another bearish signal that's going to keep moving down. And it hasn't done that yet, so the loss makes 100% sense to me. But it is what it is. I mean, you just got to preserve capital and try not to get too deep in a hole that when this market finally does start shaping up and trending more consistently, that you're not trying to make back a lot of your losses. Yeah, it's definitely been very tough. This stream has not been popping, man. There's really not been anything to discuss or to like really focus on. It's just like sitting here just like watching and waiting and being like, all right, well, that's the end of my session. I didn't take anything again. But this is where a lot of people can get hurt who don't have mental fortitude and discipline because you feel like if you're sitting on the charts, you have to be clicking something, to be at work, quote unquote, as a human being typically means that you are active doing something. And to just sit on the charts and not do anything seems counterproductive to a lot of people, so you can sometimes find yourself in some trouble. Took a very small trade today because I wanted to trade. I was there. Yeah, the same happened with me. I hear you, man. It's all right, CD. Like that happens. Like it happened to me twice this week. I took a stupid one on Monday just because like I was feeling like I needed to click and I lost like 0.4%, like something like that. And then yesterday felt like I had a little bit of a better opportunity, but still kind of an unneeded trade. I lost like 2%. And like I said, on the month, I'm down like 2 point. No way, on the month, I'm down like 5%. I did the math yesterday. I think it was like exactly 5%, which is just a little over one winner for me. So I'm still flat. I consider that flat. Slightly down, but EA's just fucking breaking out. So if I hit like one winner, then I'd be down like 1% on the month. See if divergence is like starting to kick in here. See how the divergence is pushing up above this structure. Same on a 5-minute. See what this thing decides to do. I mean, how do I even find a direction on these pairs? Like, is it down? Is it up? I don't I don't know. There's just no direction. It just kind of looks like it's falling, but again, it's right back at this level that was previously um, like a higher high from this downtrend. Like, kept making structure down, came up, made a high, and then made another high. Now it's come back. Came back to this high here. And it's kind of falling off of it. So does it fall back down to try and like retest, I guess, this structure first here or here, or does it like hold a support and try and move up? I don't know what the trend is. Is the trend down? Is it up from previous? Is it down? Is this a correction? Is it like this? Is it like this? Like like what is it? I don't. It's too confusing. Like at least for me, and at least the way that I trade is just very confusing. AU's trying to find a little bit of momentum. As you can see, like it kind of stalled right here. All these like pins down, just like buyers, just kind of pushing price back up, faking out, hitting stops, collecting orders. Does it push up and out, or does it just find a resistance level and move lower? Because it's also divergence. I don't know. EJ for a potential short. Maybe like a break and retest. Break, try and like retest this zone, then come lower. Four-hour in like a selling position. It's definitely finding support at the moment, but it could definitely fall through. Or I guess you call it resistance. Yeah, I'm not sure on that either. It's just too indecisive. Cause it's like moved up, came down, comes up, does it consolidate, move higher? Does it come down and retest the low? And then, because like on a daily, you're still kind of like in a buying potential. But again, it is a daily, so it's kind of a really big time frame to call. Is it like break and retest in here? Kind of like came down, broke up. Is it retest and then continuation to the upside? Or is it gonna like fall through? It's just like so hard to read. Kind of consolidated, but then broke this consolidation here. Unsure. Wow. EA just fallen. Took hours and hours and hours to get price all the way up here in one candle. It's like retracing all this time. And that's why I was trying to stay with the downtrend yesterday, because I was hoping that maybe something like that would happen, where it's like, you just get this momentum out of nowhere, but this momentum doesn't even mean anything, truly. Not yet, still like just in a range. Coming up on a 9 o'clock hour, so we can look at a 4-hour candle too. See how everything looks from the top. A little bit of stalling here on AU. EA, you can see you're getting like that bearish candle. EU, it's kind of breaking down. Probably going to hold this EMA. Yeah, just holding that structure right there. GJ just still chopping. GU, dollar index, Strong candle on the dollar index to the upside. Let's look a little closer. Kind of broke up above this. Divergent. GU. Became divergent, broke above, pushed up above this high. Now maybe it comes back and retests this level here on the 1 minute. Finds support and then drives higher maybe. If that's indeed going to come up and like try and reset. GJ making a move. It's through on the 5 minute here. AU looks like this to me. Divergence on EU. You can see it. Looks like this, just like AU on the 1 minute here on EU. Kind of looks like that. If it's going to come higher, it's going to break above it, come back, retest it, and then show a bullish pattern. This could just be like correcting before it comes back here. It does look like it's trying to come lower, but is having a little bit of issue at this bottom. Divergence on the 5 minute as well, divergence on the 15 minute. Ooh. Divergence on the dollar index at the moment. The dollar index begins to fall off, you're going to see EU and AU and GU and all of them start to move to the upside. Definitely diverging here on AU. EA kind of like free falling at the moment. Kind of looks like dollar index is falling off. This divergence. You can see how it was making higher highs, but it was falling, and then now it made a lower high, broke down, consolidated. Now you're starting to break down some more, so now you're starting to make like potentially structure. So we'll keep an eye on this. Because now you're going to see, like I said, here it is, break and retest on EU. Kind of broke above it, barely retested. Now you're pushing off of it right here. Does this kind of start to send you off? I don't know yet. It still could come down. This is still kind of in like a selling position. Even though it's divergent, like it could still just come lower. Divergence doesn't automatically mean like a full reversal. It could just mean like a correction. You can see this thing on the 15 minutes just been falling. Like it fell down, broke the low here. So now it could come up, retest, this area potentially before falling lower, or it's going to break above and just I hate when it's like this. You just can't read it. It's hard to make a really good decision. GJ finding some steam. But again, where would I make an entry? How do I know long is the direction? It's still just, could come right back into this area where it's shown resistance. In my mind, it looks like the dollar index is rising because it's like make a low, consolidate, make a high, make a low, you make another high. Your TDI is starting to show you like upward momentum. This is divergent from here, from this top to this top. This top is lower. As it's higher on price action, so potentially this is weakness, but it could just come back and retest this area as support, 96.87, something like that, 96.85, in that area. It's like right at this other area, consolidation right here. That's where it is right now, over here.
This looks like it wants to go higher. GU looks like it wants to come lower with this 5-minute candle, but I don't know if I'm gonna take this. Like, this looks like you had bearish engulfing here. Now you're driving through, but you're still like at this area. It's through the trend line. It's starting to fall. But I do have this. I don't know. This is probably gonna wind up being like a miss. This looks like it's trying to drive lower. Like down here maybe. But it hasn't broken this yet. This is a pretty good potential candle right here on this 5-minute, like showing momentum, but I don't know if it just stalls. I would probably need like a break and retest. I don't know. Stop would be like above it. Just, I don't know. If dollar index is going to go higher, then that's likely to fall, and dollar index looks like it's, even though dollar index is divergent, it's still trying to move higher. I'm not sure. Could just hold this trend line on the 15-minute and push more. Kind of reset into this zone. That would make some sense. And then this is going to keep falling. I got burned on this yesterday though, but I think there's better correlation today. EU similarly trying to like move lower off of this. It's right back at the lows though. It's still divergent on the 1-minute. Like this is a lower price action, but it's still higher. It's still divergent on the 5 minutes. It's too iffy. Like I see the potential in it, but I also see where it could like stall. I don't know. Gonna play it a little bit slower. It's still early, and I don't want to jump into anything. You know, if it goes, it goes. But I just try to be a little bit more aware of what's happening. It's kind of like just hitting these lows. Now maybe if in 4 minutes it closes strong, it could be like drop, consolidate, drop, and then maybe you get another candle. See how it closes. Give it 4 minutes. Stock market's going to open in 5 minutes. This pair is just like it doesn't have clear direction. Like down isn't a clear direction on this. And that's a good short-term signal. You know, like I said, on a 5 minute, like you kind of like this 3 candle like pin high. You know, if you were like a little bit more eager and looking to the downside, then this is a good one to being up there, because maybe you might see this next push down. Then you're probably pretty much like out of the trade. You know, if you're taking like even like a 12 pip, you're at like, you know, you're almost out. But you could probably take it tighter than 12. It'd probably be like 10. So you're almost out of it. But you're at the lows, and that's the only thing that's concerning me is like, yeah, clearly it looks like it's falling. But this is how EA looked to me yesterday too, and it just ripped right back up. So I'm not gonna get played in it twice. And if I miss it, I miss it. It's no big deal. But I don't want to be eager like I was yesterday. Dollar index still trying to come higher though, so that's a good correlation, more confluence. EU, you know, I like see it like target back here, target this area. See here on the 1 minute, it's kind of like right back into this that we had drawn. Like if you draw it from these tops, it broke and came back in. It's like sitting on it. It's still divergent from back here. Price is lower, but now it's even divergent in here. Now you've got like another kind of descending wedge channel in here, kind of just. So I'm uncertain. I really am. See what happens. Dollar index definitely trying to come higher, so that'll probably push down EU and potentially GU and AU. So that might be. It's just kind of weak, like. And plus it's at the lows where it's like rejected before. It could just be collecting orders. There's no clear direction on this. Oh, man, these are the days that they just test all your skills. Mental, technical, emotional. This candle's kind of breaking all this consolidation here. It's through on your TDI. It's kind of breaking all of this. It's technically like a new low a day. EU, 2 candle. Kind of looks like it's got potential here with a nice shove down on GU. Didn't break the lows, but it's definitely got potential to the downside. GJ just sitting right on it. Subjective indicators. Don't like indicators because they're subjective. This looks like break and retest on EA potentially. Break down, come above. Now potentially come back down to test the low. It's too ugly to call on that one. This is too choppy. It might go. Who knows? Dollar index still looks, it's still like kind of just slowly, slowly, slowly. Higher, higher, higher. Holding the trend line. Just kind of moving up. You don't want to call it top. You know, you just kind of want to let it do its thing. And this will fall off probably at least to here, but it wasn't really enough space for me to kind of get a play in. Like I said, maybe GU is a little cleaner, but this is just choppy to me. Where's my target? Am I targeting these lows down here at like 40? Am I targeting this zone down here? You know, is it just going to hold? As we said, if the dollar index keeps trying to move higher, 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 then GU should just fall off, and then maybe that 5-minute entry is valid. It's still divergent like everywhere. Lots of divergences. As we said on AU on this 15-minute candle, definitely looks like it kind of engulfed this whole range, but I don't know for a fact that it's dropping right here on the TDI on the 30-minute. Looks probable. Kind of coming down. Maybe it comes to like here for full reset, test this low. It's kind of like below here. It's coming through the trend line. But again, subjective indicators. But that doesn't look terrible. You know, talk about like a 15 pip stop, go for 30. 30 is like right here. It's got like 25 on ADR. It's divergent, but like it's like that. I don't know. Maybe it falls because, like we were saying, the dollar index does look like it's going to keep trying to move higher. GU just kind of holding at this for a moment. I don't want to ignore the divergence. Kind of like this sweeping trend line. I also don't want to say that it's like reversing and moving up. We said on EA, maybe like a break and retest, like it broke out, retest. Maybe we get more potential. ADR's all the way down here. From where we've been, it's 46. From where we are, it's almost 100. But what's the direction on this? We know that the overall direction is down. Oops. We feel pretty confident that, as we were saying on the daily, that we were trying to see this come back and retest these lows here. But it is divergent off of these bottoms. But it's holding this EMA. It's holding below it. Like, when is it broken this EMA? And then it just keeps throwing pins. So right now it's indecisive. But you would be more inclined to say that to the downside seems more likely. Just it's been falling. You'd probably want to stay with it. Now it's choppy now, so it's like you can't really call it, but you could see maybe it's break, retest, and that's coming to test the lows again. Here comes on the 5-minute. Just breaking back down. Just in a reset, so it's almost like, I don't know, man. This market's just being really funny. Look at this. Wow. Wow, look at GU just pulling right back up. Dollar indexes retesting these highs right here. Again, all these pairs are divergent, so you're finding resistance. EA is just shoving. This is definitely overextended. I don't think it's news. It's probably just volatility of the market. You can see just up, down, just completely confusing. Hold it, breakout here, consolidation. Maybe you see more momentum to the upside. Stop at the bottom, 64. Do I feel like this is going to not keep falling? I mean, that's kind of a, I don't want to say that. Like, it's been falling. I don't want to go away from that and just call it reversal. But you can see that it's having trouble at these lows. Pins right to it, throws a body right on it. A little bit of a wick. Sentiment says that it's falling. I wouldn't want to just buy it. Even though the dollar index is divergent, it still looks like it's trying to come higher. So you think you'd want to stay with higher on that and lower on EU. I really don't know. I've got no good ideas right now. Wow. AUD is getting a lot of strength. Right back to the low. a lot more volatility in AUD than anything else right now. Divergence. Maybe divergence is starting to kick in. Get EA. A lot of volatility in the AUD. I'm sure AU is pushing up. Yeah, see it. See it if it breaks this zone. You know? How do you know if it's going to potentially move higher? It's going to break the zone. It's going to consolidate. It's going to throw another signal. This is why I didn't want to get too jumpy on GU just yet, because I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if this is like a break up and then more momentum up to here. I kind of broke flag and then continuation. Yeah, I mean, it's divergent on the 15-minute here. Kind of double bottoms. Throws two sets of pins and now it's starting to push off. But it's too indecisive for me. I don't know. Phew! This thing. Wow, stock market gapping down from 26,159. It's like almost 200 points. 160 points, something like that. And then just fell real hard. So here's your 15 on EA, just really extended. Same with AU. AU kind of broke out of the structure, so you'd like to see it, retest back down. If it's going to come higher, it's going to like retest as support and then find more momentum to the upside. EU right here. This might be good for like a reset. If this diverges, is a D kicking in? Get an entry in here. Get a stop down here for like 12 pips and try and get up here for like 24 for like a 4 reset. I don't want to go away from, like we said, it's clearly been falling. I understand there's divergence, but it's one of those tough things. So dollar index could just be finding, like a pullback. It's kind of broke these though. I don't know. It's done a pretty good job on this 1 minute. How like you could see like it just kind of like respecting it and then drives off it. Comes back. Is it going to like test this area as like support and then continue higher? Or is it like falling through? Because it's still in a downtrend like on this short term. But this could be like support and then higher. I'm not ready to buy it. Still, sentiment's still falling. But this is certainly rejecting. Alright, let's give it a look. Just for fun. Just keep an eye on it. Because I do believe like the overall sentiment on this was like up on like a daily and like a higher time frame. Because this could just be like a retest of like a break above, retest before continuation to the upside. I don't know. I don't know that taking it long is the move. If it keeps rejecting here, then maybe, but I don't know. You can see here on like GJ how it's kind of like breaking up and like it's consolidating sideways. See this? It's kind of like broke up and it's consolidating sideways and then maybe like a break up. But there's no trend in this pair. Dollar index still looks like it has potential to move higher. It is divergent, but it could still move into this zone and maintain its divergence, which would cause EU to fall. It's a very interesting thing. You can see here on the 1 minute how it's holding this breakout right here. Like it broke up, moved up, broke, now it's come down, but it's still holding this bottoms for now. I don't want to get too impulsive on a 1 minute. But if it keeps rejecting and then it throws like a 2 candle above this, maybe you want to get in and see if it like, if the divergence is indeed kicking in, it's going to like start moving back up. I don't want to go away from what it's been doing now. It's kind of holding this EMA here on a 4 hour. Kind of broke down. Yeah, it could still come lower. You could see how it's kind of like trying to hold this zone, but not really. Kind of broke the zone. Again, these are just averages. This doesn't, because it could be this area too. Could be this whole area. It's very tricky. Like I said, if it starts throwing like a bullish engulfing here, as you've like clearly with a strong candle broke the zone, now you're moving sideways. If it throws another one that kind of clears up like this, I think you could put your stop below here because it's showing this as a level of like support, and then potentially try and like move to the upside. But I don't want to go away from the downtrend on it just yet because it's clearly been falling, and I usually don't have much luck calling like a reversal. But the question is like, was this like a break and then like a retest? But I guess this is the zone really here. If you look at it, it's like this. This is the candle, consolidates, ignites. Now you're coming back and retesting this area. Still, it's been falling though. Play it slow. It's not wrong with playing it slow. Look at EA, just a choppy mess. Up, down, just beating the hell out of people, man. Yeah, you're getting some momentum back down because of dollar index. Is a funny thing happening right now. Like you're getting some volatility, which is nice. Here goes like a nice. It's still at the bottom though. Like yeah, it's through. It's still falling, so it's like you want to stay with what it's currently doing, which has been short, until it really gives you a reason to not short it. It's got to be really clear and obvious. And yeah, divergence is always like a helpful thing, like but divergence isn't everything because it can still keep moving higher or lower even with divergence. Like, so you need a lot of price action confirmations. This is a choppy market. And I feel like I'm calling like a breakout on GU if I take it short. Like I'm trying to call that this is going to break this low. More divergence. This is technically a higher low here, just barely. But you can see how it's like hasn't broke this low. See, you want to see it break the low. I could just be break and retest. But it's struggling. And clearly the divergence is still in. But this is still in a selling condition. Until this really starts to like pull off and show sentiment is rising, it's still in a selling condition. GJ getting some juice. EA is just mad right now. Down, up, down, up. Smashing people. A lot of volatility in AUD right now. Yeah, I see how it's holding this trend line on a 5 minute like this. Like it's kind of holding it. It's failing to make lows. Starting to turn up a little bit. Again, I'm not ready to put a buy in, but I'm certainly not convinced it's moving lower yet either. GU, pretty good close on that 5 minute right there, kind of just breaking new lows on the 5 minute. But again, just like that means that I'm calling like a breakout. See what happens in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. If it holds and breaks a low, Breakdown. It's just, I don't know. I really don't know. See, it's just having trouble here, but like I don't know. Sentiment's still falling. I don't want to go away from that. That's how you get burned. You're trying to like call bottom, trying to call reversal on a market that's been falling. Dollar index, like we said, it's definitely still trying to move higher, so you don't want to go away from that. And in that same light, you don't want to go away from EU to the downside, GU to the downside. It's been falling. You don't want to call a stop to the market. You want to try and trade it with the market. Certainly volatility, but just really hard to decide on a direction. Because again, it's just failing to break the low right here. Just stalling. Still divergent. Breaking the lows on GU. Yeah, he's just a mess. Breaking down on AU. Dollar index still trying to move higher into this range. This is a pretty good candle here, but it's a pretty big stop. And I don't think it has that much an ADR on it. No, it doesn't. I know it doesn't. Clearly broke out for a new low a day, but it's still within this. Just kind of just chop. Yeah, I'll probably miss short entry, but I can't, and like I said, the sentiment's still falling. So you don't want to try and buy it up. You want to try and stay with it, but at the same time, man, it's like I can't really trust it either because of all the divergence. I can't buy it because I don't want to try and call a reversal. But I can't sell it because I don't trust the divergence. It's just nasty, man. You got divergence here on EA. This candle breaks up, kind of bottoms out, finds support, up, down, chopping people. Now it's like starting to move, but just unreadable to me. Now, somebody else might be able to read it, but to me, I just can't read it. More divergence. And that's the thing about divergence. You can keep calling that, oh, it's divergent, divergent, divergent. The price keeps moving lower and holding its divergence. That's the that's the thing about divergence. How do you know when it's done? Well, the only way to know when it's done is when structure. If it had made another move to the upside here, you have to use structure on divergence. You can't just use the indicator because the indicator is a subjective piece of equipment. You have to use price action. Currently, price action is making a lower low. You need to come up, hold, create a higher low, and then drive off it. And then at that point, you would potentially see divergence might be finally kicking in and prices starting to actually move off. Yeah, I really don't want to GU falling. This was if we remember this one that we were talking about here, how we said it kind of was like came up, pin, bearish engulfing, and then this candle right here, and your stop would have been like up here above it. Probably would have held if you had your stop at like 95, something like that. Like just give it a little bit for your spread. Your entry would have been down here somewhere around like 80, and it's at like 60 now, so that's like 20 pips with like maybe a 15 pip stop, so you're a little over 1R, but it's just a little choppy. You could have maybe took this one. Like, okay, it came down, came back up. Now you take this one. You're in at like, 67.5. Put a stop at like 87. So like 20 pips, you need 40, but I don't think that I had 40 in it from here. It did. It does. 43. But again, you're calling that this breakout's going to hold. I don't know. So much volatility in these AUD pairs. Crazy. Falling pretty good now. So I want to stay with it. You definitely want to stay with this trend. It's been falling. You don't want to try and call that reversal. You get burnt way too much trying to call reversal. Just want to stay with it. Something like this from this trend line. You can see how it held it, corrected off of it, and it's just down, correct, down, correct, down, down. Still in a selling condition, selling sentiment. Until you could see price action fail to make a lower low, come up, make a higher high, find resistance, and shove again. Then you start creating uptrend structure. Until then, you have to just stay with the trend. If I have all the money back from all the times that I tried to call a top or a bottom to this market, I'd probably be retired. Yeah, here comes some momentum now. Dollar index shoving. So you just stay with it. It's the easiest thing to do, is just stay with the trend. It's also the hardest thing to do. Ugh. More divergence on the 5 minute here between these two lows. So it was like diverging here, and then like now you can see here divergence, divergence. pushing off of it. Still in a selling condition, so it could just be correction, but you can see on the 1 minute really starting to get up and out, engulfing here. Boom, boom. You're gonna see it come up, and then you're probably gonna see it come break back down and try and find a support. And then it could just be testing this level before more continuation back to the downside. But it's not always a good sign that you see on a like this, where it just kind of like drives down, and then within the last 3 minutes of the candle, it's just shoving up. It's telling you that people are taking profit. Buyers are trying to come into the market. Same thing happened here too. You could see it like drove all the way down and then came back up. But then it filled it. It filled right back down to it. But this zone obviously seems to be of sub-significance, as we were saying. Now I'm not saying that it's like moving up, but we'll see what happens. See if it comes down. If it comes down again, it leaves another pin. And you might be seeing like a little bit of an end to this. But yeah, right now it's just getting right back up to these highs on a 1 minute. Dollar index, obviously, doing the opposite, falling off. Still, sentiment's still up though. And that's the thing too, like, okay, you want to get short on this pair. Where though? Where can we get in short, This thing's just like all over the place, man. Look at this. Right to the zone. Pin, pin. Divergent. Divergence on the 15 minute. Divergence on a 1 minute. Divergence on a 5 minute. Consolidation on GJ. I don't know if this is enough to like break it out. Kind of double bottom, finding support. It's divergent. Strong igniting candle. 15 pip stop. It's like just consolidating though. Like I don't know that up is the direction for this either. It's just sideways. Like, yeah, I'd like to say, okay, well, this is a really nice candle that you can see it's finding support, and then this is like a really good, potentially igniting candle. Do you think it's going to drive up? I don't know. I don't know that I can call that either. Does it come back down and find like support here at 133.30 and then move off of that higher? I want to say yeah and take this long, but I don't think I can. it's still kind of falling, you know. This is like, but I don't know. Like, see how it's kind of holding? I don't know. It's too hard to say. It's too choppy. It's too up and down. I do like the way it looks. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'd like to see this kind of be like an igniting candle, come back, find support here, and then push higher. You know, I take like a, maybe I need to be below these pins. I don't know that I can take that. Like I said, I'd like to. I like the way this just drove real strong. If it is going to move higher, it's not going to come back past here. But it's a very choppy market. I don't know if that's worth the risk. Finding consolidation here at this high. I kind of broke out here. Stop at 70 maybe. But again, I'm calling a reversal. But now it's starting to make a little bit of structure though. But is it finding support here and moving off of it? It's been falling, but it's finding support here. It's divergent. I don't know. It's like, let's break, consolidate, break out under the structure, because if it's going higher, it's not coming back under here. So your stop would be like, 68. You're looking at like an 8 to 10 pip like stop loss with anticipation that it just continues structure higher. But again, you're calling a reversal. I don't know that this doesn't just find support or resistance here at this high and then come back down. So I don't know. It looks like I could read potentially for this to move higher, and it might. I don't know that I can take it. I don't know if I feel confident enough to take it yet. I do see this hooking trend line though. This looks like it could start to like push up and out. I don't know. There's still too much time. in this candle. Just because of all this divergence, like, but the sentiment like on the dollar index is still like rising, but there's just divergence everywhere. But it's a hard thing. Like I'm calling it here. You know what I mean? You could see this potentially be the breakout. This is the structure. You want your stop under structure here, because if it is going to create higher structures, then it's not coming below here. If you look at it on like a 4-hour chart, you're seeing that it held this EMA, came down, kind of pinned the 50. Now you're starting to see divergence kicking in and moving this to the upside. So is this like a break, a retest, and then continuation back up? See here on the hour, kind of in here, came here with a pin, rejection, starting to move up. Kind of pinned back down on this zone on the 1 minute right here, see? Leveled off, pushed up, pinned back down to test it, found that's moving higher, holding the trend line. Sentiment's starting to rise, not quite yet. I don't know. You can see that I'm a little bit conflicted in it. I'm not sure. I don't want to call a reversal, but I'm trying to put the puzzle together. And I do like that this is still in an uptrend. This could just be, and who knows? Maybe it's break down here, come back up and test this zone before coming lower. But it's still in a buying condition. Very uncertain. GJ looks like it's trying to make a move to the upside. You can see where it's like finding support. Here on the 1 minute, you can see it had this level, broke down, comes above this level, consolidating at this level on the upside. And now you're trying to like ignite up maybe. It's too hard to say buy. Like you can see the divergence kicking in. Like this is a bottom and this is a bottom. This looping trend line kinda where you might see it up and out, but sentiment is still falling. But again, is it just like break and reach? Yeah, I don't know. I really can't read it. I can't figure out if this is like a break to the upside, come back, find, you can see it's pinning and starting to show potential, not yet, because the candle, you still got 2.5 hours on this, but like it starts on the lower time frames. 1 minute is finally like, look at how long it's kind of been in this selling condition since like, you know, 7 o'clock or so. And now it's finally like looking like it's starting to come out of it. Now that doesn't mean anything because it came out of it here and it fell back into it. Came into it here and then, but what's it doing structurally? Structurally, it's made a low, that's coming up. This is a higher high. Again, is it going to come back? And it's failed to get higher than this high though. That's why the 1 minute can be very confusing. So you want to try and really look at it. It could be that it broke down and now it's like retesting before continuation back down. Or is it going to come down and like find support here at like 71-ish, 70, something like that? Come back and test here and then continue to the upside. Trend lines like rising. Short-term sentiment is rising. Divergence. It's unknowable at this moment. I feel like this is trying to move higher, but this is really choppy. This would be the worst to trade, probably. But look at it like trying to like, again, like we said, here's the level. Breaks down, comes above the level. Now it's back in this level, but it's not down on the level, it's up on the level. So and sentiment's starting to rise. You get your stop below here, like 26, something like that. Because if it's going to continue higher, it's not coming below that. But I don't know that it's continuing higher because this thing is just sideways. But I feel like it wants to move higher. I don't know. I don't think I could take that long. This is very taxing. Up, consolidate, up. But like the bigger picture is kind of like down on this, right? Downtrend. Why would it not come back and test this low? Come back, move down lower to test the low. It's just sideways. It could just go sideways all day. EU came up, settled at this high, starting to move down. See where it bottoms out at. Because again, still sentiment is still down. So should I have been looking up here for shorts? Just trying to stay with this trend, trying to get it back down to the lows from up here, trying to rip like 20 pips off of it. But what's my entry? You know, where do you qualify an entry at? How do you know that this isn't just going to come back and hit here, find support, and move higher? How do I know it's not just going to fall all the way through? I don't know either. Like I said, price action's been falling, but it's getting kind of choppy right now. I feel like if I stay on these charts, I'm going to get myself into like a position. And don't know if that's the best thing because I'm really uncertain on direction. So I might just have to go and get off these charts before I make a bad decision. Now right here on GU, it looks like you could be potentially making like a really nice, like a reversal, where you see like it kind of breaks, comes up, retests. You had this real tiny, you could barely see it, bearish engulfing candle right here, which led to more downward momentum. Now if this like drives through, closes, and pushes through here, does that lead you to believe that there's more continuation to the downside, which is what the trend has been doing on this? It's been falling. Do you try and come down to these lows here? And then do I get like a stop up here? Like at 77? That's like 20 pips. I need 40. This only has 33 in it. Looks promising though, like, but it's still divergent. So I'm like kind of SOL on all this. Like on a 15-minute looks really good. See how it's under, everything's under the liquid 50, it's under trend line, it's falling. It's a nice 5-minute candle right there. Like it's through. But I need like I need to stop at like 75. It's like 10-ish pips. I don't know that it's going to keep falling. It looks like it is on the 15-minute here. It looks like definitely, but see how it's just pulling back. I don't know, man. You definitely want to stay with the trend, which is down. I don't know if I want to lose on a position like that, though. Because could just as easily just pull right back up. Like it is falling, it's through. Does it come back? It's kind of looks like a breakout here. I'm short. I'm in at 60. I gotta stop at 75. I'm going for 124.30. See if we can get momentum on this. I like the 15-minute. It's falling. The 5-minute, this is a pretty good candle. I know my stop. Let's see. It looks really good on the 15-minute to keep falling. The hour looks pretty good to keep falling. It just wicked back. Let's see if we can get a push. Dollar index, we said, is still trying to move higher. We don't want to go away from that bias. So we're staying with the trend. I'm up 5. Let's just see if it pushes. Let's just see what it does. Been really patient all day. I feel like this might have been break and retest. We're trying to stay with the dollar index, which is rising. We're trying to stay with the trend, which is down. Let's just see if we can get a little gas. I need like 20 more pips. Clearly, this thing's moving. I'm gonna see what happens as I hit this low. I'd like to get it back into this area. See what happens as we strike down here. Immediately into profit, no drawdown. Getting some extension here. Just see. Take it slow. Not gonna get too ahead of myself. But this 1 minute did look like it's kind of like in a breakout. Like it's falling. It's a little divergent. We're staying with the trend, which is down. The TDI here is clearly falling. This RSI, which is price, is below everything. It's came back up, hit that. This would have been a good entry here. That candle. Nice continuation on the 5-minute. You want to see the next candle kind of close bearish, and it did. I just want to see it keep pushing down from here. I don't want to see it stall at all. Looking for like 20 more pips. Just be a really nice winner. Got 4 minutes left in this candle. We got space on ADR. I mean, like I said, these lows maybe could be an issue for me. But in my mind, I don't see why you couldn't. Yeah, it could be at a significant level. But I don't want to tell this thing that it's done falling, because this thing could easily just fall back to these lows. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's clearly in a selling sentiment on a higher time frame. You came up, break, you're pushing down. I only need to get it to 30. It's within ADR pretty much. I feel like this pair's got the momentum over EU. Dollar index is still trying to come higher, but it's kind of fizzling. $124.60. I'm gonna put my stop at break even, just in case. There's no reason to take a L. Well, no. What if it pulls back? Just a retest. It shouldn't. It should. Well, let's leave it where it was for now. What was it? It was at 24.75. It shouldn't come back to retest that entry, should it? 124.750. It's a little bit divergent. It should just keep falling, in my opinion. Like, I don't think it needs to come back up and retest that entry. It might come back and test like 60, which is my entry. It's pretty good momentum to the downside here. I'd like to just see it keep going. Dollar index. It's a hard call. It is divergent. Still selling conditions. Falling on the 15-minute. Need about 19 pips, 18 pips, something like that to my target. It's a really nice close for new low a day. It's clearly under everything on this. This TDI is definitely falling. It's making nice structure on the 1 minute. Now maybe I could see a little bit of pullback, 1, 2, 3 pushes, or a little bit of sideways momentum. I'd really like to see just another bearish candle. If I can get it close to my take profit, I'll take it. If it seems like it wants to just keep tanking, I'm going to let it tank. I need 17 pips. I'm up almost 1 R. I like just at close to 1 R. Just see if this thing wants to just drive. Yeah, I'm at 1 R right now. Could keep an eye on ADR, which is 24. Oh, so I'm well within ADR because I only need to go to 30. It doesn't have to go ADR, but it has the potential. We're ripping now, catching some momentum. Been really patient. I feel like I played this well. I'd like to be rewarded for it. Need 14 more pips. Still kind of free falling. Dollar index looks like it's about to push to the upside. I can on the 5 minute here. It looks like it's kind of broke up, consolidated. If I can get like another push, I need like 10 pips, 12 pips. I'm almost there. This thing's really falling to hell now. I'm so close. I need 8 pips. 124.60.05. I'm definitely moving this to break even. 8 pips away from my take profit. It's still falling on the 1 minute. I don't have any reason for this to not keep falling. So close. Come on. Hook me up. I'm right at these lows right here. Come on, we're so close. 10 more pips. Come on, just push. Yeah. Come on. I'm so close. I'm so close. It's gonna be huge, man. This is gonna be so big. Come on. Come on. It's still falling. Come on, it's still falling. 7 pips. Come on. Come on. Starting to oversell a little bit on the 1 minute. Come on, I'm so close. Starting to correct a little bit at this low right here. You can see a hit right here at like 35. Trying to stay patient with it. See if it just wants to kind of come up and retest and then continue lower. Still got 10 minutes in this candle. I'm not going to close it. My stop is at break even. It shouldn't. I mean, it's still free falling here on the 15 minute. You see what I'm saying? How everything's like under it, still like in a free fall. These lows are probably significant where it's reached this high too. I really feel like it can get there. It's like breaking out. I was up like a lot. I was up like 400 and like 40 bucks. I'm up like a little over 300 right now. I'm back at my 1R. I'd like to see this just kind of come up and find a little bit of support and then make another move to the downside and hopefully get to that target of 30, which is like right here. We're back in business now. It's finding some momentum. I'm so close. I'm up over 400. I need 10 pips. You can keep an eye on this. I'd really love to see this just smash. It's still falling nicely on the 5 minutes, falling nicely on the 15 minute. I don't want to get too focused on the 1 minute. Everything says sell. It's just a little bit of wondering what's happening here at this level. But again, this is still falling, so I want to stay with it, but I don't want to give up the money. I don't want to give up the trade. I don't want to give up the money. There's no reason for me to get out of it yet. And my stop is locked, and I would hate to get smashed at break even, but um, we're just gonna try and let this thing ride. Stay confident, stay with it, stay with the momentum. It's clearly falling. Dollar index is chopping. Looks like it's kind of having a hard time. GJ was falling off too, so maybe the pound's moving down. Back up. I need just 9 more pips. It's definitely getting some momentum. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. 7 pips, come on. See how it, oh, I'm sorry. See how it handles these lows. We're driving nowhere. 5 pips, 5 pips, 4 pips, 4 pips. We're almost there. I'm so close. I'm almost there. 6 pips. Come on. It's like starting to stall a little bit. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Push. Starting to have some issues here. There's still 6 minutes left in the candle, but I can see it starting to stall a little bit. Come on. It's starting to like pin. Come on, push back down. I got like, come on, come on. I don't know. I might move my stop a little bit into profit so I at least make something out of this trade. If it, because it looks like it's kind of having some stalling here, bottoming out a little bit. Fuck, I was so close. I was within 5 pips. Come on. See if it can hold here. It's still falling. Sentiment's still down. But you can see this kind of pin here. Again, it's the 1 minute. So I don't want to get overly critical on it. Still got 5 minutes on this candle. Come on, one more push. Come on. Come on. I really don't want to tap out of this thing, but you can see it's starting to like fizzle. I don't want to. Damn it. Yeah, I'm starting to like. Come on. Come on, don't be done yet. Come on. I can't take that call right now. Come on. Come on. Ah. Come on, I don't want to bail out of this trade. Come on. I'm so upset right now. Shit. Come on. Don't give up yet. Come on. Come on, we're so close. I should have just pulled it. Come on. Don't be done yet. You don't like to see that. I don't like to see this. I think this is done. You don't want to see a huge push down, and then in the last 3 minutes, just wicking like that. Come on. Come on, one more time. It's still falling. It's still kind of free falling. Come on. It's not what you want to say at all. You still got 2 minutes. It could still fill this, and like it could still close down. But I'm sure these lows had something to do with it. Dollar index is starting to fizzle the other way. This might just be the end of it. It could still hold here and push lower, but it just doesn't. I don't feel like it's going to, and I feel like I'm going to get stopped at break even. I'm so upset right now. Come on. I was so close. I had all that, and now I'm going to get nothing out of it. It just turns so quick on you. You try to stay patient. It just turns so quick. Let's see if this next candle um, wants to drive down and come back to these lows, and then if it can, I could try and like pull out of it. But the dollar index, I think, is it's having trouble. It's tapping out on this divergence. And if that starts to fall off, then this is going to rise up, and I'm going to get nothing out of it. Yeah, and I try not to close before the candle closes. It might come back and hold this level here at like 57.60, and if it does, it's just going to stop me at break even. And I was like 5 pips from my take profit. I was up like over $500 real quick, and then it just sucked away. Let's see. It's still in a free fall. Let's see if it wants to push one more time. It still looks good on the TDI. It's kind of like coming back to a level. Because if I can get it to come back, I'm just going to pull profits. I'm not going to get greedy. It's been a tough market. I just want to pull something out of it. See if I can at least try and come back and test the low. It's still falling. Like it's still got potential to come down and move even lower. I just don't like seeing that wick like that on the 15-minute. That definitely a lot of people taking profit. People, buyers coming in. It's hitting this level right here. I'm not sure. Trying to be patient with it, but trying not to give back money. It's still in a free fall. It's clearly still falling. I've covered yesterday's loss pretty much right here, but dollar index trying to come higher. Sentiment is still up, which is why I say GU sentiment is still down potentially. See how EU just fizzled. GJ still falling, so pound is still moving to the downside. Come on. Come on. Do me nice. Come on. I'm at like 1R. Come on. There you go. Come on. Come on. I'm trying to stay with you. Come on. It's kind of through the trend line on the 1 minute, but it's still holding this price at like 43. But everything is still saying down. I don't want to call an end to it. I don't know. I think this might be the end of it. I'm going to move my stop to 55. 124.55. So I can at least lock in like $100. Because if it moves above this, then obviously it's probably done. So 55 is like up here. If it doesn't fall, you don't want to see it come back up here. And this pin's just like ugly. You don't want to see this. This doesn't look right. Maybe it goes sideways, it consolidates, and then pushes lower because it's still kind of falling sentiment. But I think I might have just missed the opportunity down here potentially. See here on the 1 minute, it's just not breaking down. Past here, it's kind of come up, used as a support. I think I'm beat. Yeah, I'm beat. It's not coming back. I don't think so. Just doesn't feel like it. I mean, please, I'd love to be wrong. See this thing just fall. But I don't know. It's looking like this dollar index kind of just rejecting. If it wants to double top here and give me one more push, but I don't. My heart says no. My heart says this thing's done. I'm not gonna lose. Worst case scenario, gonna make $100. Best case scenario, this thing ignites like a rocket and just falls to shit, and we hit our take profit. So this is a winning trade. It just depends how much it's gonna be. So I guess that's good. I guess we have to look at the bright side. Like I said, it's still in a selling sentiment. There's still potential for it to come to the downside. We've locked in $100 just so we get something out of this trade, but you can see I was just having trouble, man. It's just I don't know. See if dollar index finds support here and pushes higher. See if we're finding resistance here, but it just doesn't look like it. I don't know. Still in a selling sentiment, still every bit of potential to come down. But that might have just been like the trap. Clearly, we're still in this trade. I'm up like $200. I'm up like 10 pips. Come on, man, prove me wrong. Fall, prove me wrong. You can see how it's holding the trend line on the 1 minute. Like I said, my heart tells me this thing's probably coming up. I never want to call a bottom. It's, call a reversal. So hopefully that holds true here, It just comes lower, but it's just kind of struggling. Struggling to come lower at the moment. I never want to say that the trend is over. So that's good because I'm with the trend. I'm short. You can see how it's just having trouble here. It's also having trouble here, so it's kind of in this little bit of a square. It's like this right now. This is how I see it. Something like that. It's still in a selling sentiment. Everything still says this thing could move lower. It could definitely still come and test these lows. It could break these lows. I mean, I would love it. I would love nothing more for this thing to come and just smash my take profit. I feel like I've played it right. I've done everything right. I've stayed in the trade. I've moved my stop. I've protected my capital. While I may sound emotional, my actions are very logical. I just hope that there's more pump in it. It's definitely a nice little breakout of this zone. Dollar index is trying, as this tries to come higher, GU and EU should try to come lower. It's pushing. Come on. If you can break these lows, then I'm gonna hit my take profit. Wow. Come on. This is why we don't call bottoms. You just stay with it. Come on, fill that wick. Push a little bit lower. We're up 450. Come on. I want to stay with it. I don't want to get out of this. Come on, just go. We're so close. 7 pips. Come on. One more thrust. Just get through here. I hit. We did it. I fucking did it. What a big win. I always give myself a pat. Always give myself a pat on the back when it works out. Like I said, I was definitely a little bit emotional in that trade, but my actions were logical. I protected capital well, smashed my take profit, just made $612. Covers my loss yesterday. We're up on the week. It's a huge win. I'm super stoked right now. I'm exhausted. Thank you, George Jorge. Yeah, I'm in, man. That's it. I smashed out. And this is why we don't call bottoms, man. This is why you don't call bottoms. Like, of course, you don't want to see this, but you let the trade play out. You protect capital. Like, again, I I felt like I was wrong and that it was going to kind of come up from here, but we don't call bottoms. We don't say that the trend is done. I stayed with it, smashed my take profit, monster win to a really tough week. I deserved it. Anybody else who got in this trade with me deserved it. This has been a really, really tough week. Right to ADR. Kind of came down through this nice, beautiful. I'm so stoked right now. I'm so happy. I'm going to go get something to eat. I appreciate everybody who was on here. If you hit this with me, congratulations. That was a monster win for 2R, 4% for how I hit it. And I'm going to move on with my day. Again, thank you all for being here. I'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. Glad to end this day on a winner. It was a little bit slow, but we worked it out. And that's it. Good luck with the rest of your trading day. Don't give anything back if you happen to get in this one with me. And that's it. We'll see you all tomorrow, 8:30 for my Friday. We'll wrap up this week and see if we can crush another one. All right. Have a good one, people. Thanks for being on. I'll see you later.